So I used to find OpTic a little boring to watch, but ever since their run at Masters, they have been one of the most impressive teams to pay attention to in the entire world, and the things that they're doing are very creative and very innovative as far as comps and the way that they play them. So here we are in a round with them against Luminosity. They're on attack, and we can see that they're running a no duelist triple initiator comp here on Ascent, which is kind of an interesting wrinkle. They also know that in this round, there is an operator very likely being bought. Really don't want to lose this round. They don't want to give up any free picks, so they need to find the operator first. So that's what they're going to do. They're immediately going to go ahead and throw out a ton of utility right as soon as the barriers drop. We're going to see the KO knife go out there, and we're also going to see a Prowler being thrown out into B main. And basically all this is just with the intention of trying to find the operator. So they do find the op there right off the bat, and they're going to go into their next phase of the plan, which is to take mid control here. So again, Prowler and Drone leading the way, a couple of return smokes by the Astra as well. And then they're going to go ahead and throw a nice little haunt here, which is going to clear all of market and allow them to flash through and take over this part of the map. So just really awesome use of all of their, detecting utility, and kind of shows the power of having these information gathering tools. So right, there was a Prowler in there, which found the operator. Then there's a Prowler to clear here. And then there was a drone to clear here. And then there was a haunt to clear here. And so they haven't really had to take any risks. So there's always been something else that's been able to find out if they are in danger or not. And it allows them to push very deep into mid very early on in the round. So once they've done this, they have now essentially created a zone where LG doesn't know if there is danger or not. And you can see that there's a star placed here. And basically LG has no idea if there's somebody in all of this part of the map, which is very scary for them because they have to cross an area of the map that is dangerous and essentially owned by OpTic. So OpTic knows this, and that was the entire point of this play. So they're going to actually fall back out of middle there. And now they're going to head towards the A site. You can also see that OpTic was sort of planning to head towards the A site potentially because they have this chamber trip here, which is a little bit hard to see because of the UI, but it's sitting here, and I'll highlight exactly how it's placed. It's kind of cool. You can see it's actually placed on this chair with the chair back blocking it from most angles. It is possible to see this from where the Sky is sitting, which is why he's just sitting there and hasn't broken it and is kind of waiting for OpTic to come this direction. But if you were running from a wider angle, you wouldn't necessarily see the chamber trip. So just tiny little piece of interesting tech from the chamber there. But this is also a good play from Mata on the Sky here because he knows that OpTic is clearly expecting somebody to push this way because he can see the chamber trip. And so he's going to play just outside the range and hopefully catch anybody who is going to push up this way, thinking that the area is clear. Now let's take a quick look at the positioning here. We've got 3 players headed towards tree. We have 1 player lurking in middle, since it's kind of like free OpTic territory off their initial play. And then we have Ye over here, who's going to come up through A main. So here we go. We've got the KO knife clearing the way here. We have a couple of Astra stars to block off this area and punish there. And then the swing out from Ye, who I don't know if he catches Mata looking at his minimap or what, but somehow gets the jump on him, finds the kill. And that's kind of a big part of why this round starts to go well for OpTic. Great kill from Moose there, stops the initial push into tree, but he gets traded out by FNS. And now LG kind of has to scramble because they had 3 players on the B site who now need to rotate over to A, and this activates the Lurk. And so it's really important that OpTic finds that pressure and is able to force players to run past where Marv is playing. And so OpTic is going to push their way onto the A site, but it's actually only Ye who's doing this because, as you can see, Marv is relaying information. He hears players running this direction, and they still know that there's an operator somewhere. And it's very likely that the operator has already rotated to the A site because if you're playing with the op, you need to be very quick to rotate because if you're not set up on an angle, then the op loses a huge amount of its power. So it's very, very important for the op to rotate fast, which means that if LG is rotating to A, that B is very likely the site that has no op and potentially has no players at all, which is probably what Marv is saying. There's very likely nobody at B left, or at the most 1 player, because you can hear a bunch of people running towards the A site. So because of that, we can already see the spike and 2 players running towards the B site, and then we still have the Astra here securing this rotation. Meanwhile, Ye is going to create even more pressure here, finds a nice little angle, and wins a duel against B-Dog there. And that really kind of seals the round, because now LG is like, wait, is the spike coming A? We don't know. We lost the operator. We only have 2 players. And so they are going to come out here and they're going to kill Ye. And at that point, they know, okay, there's probably nobody else coming to the A site, but what are we supposed to do now? We're going to scramble towards B, which sets up Marved to get activated with a kill there. And then that's going to be a free plant and a free win for OpTic on the B site. You can see that Tig is just going to save the operator. Just fantastic job of like pulling rotations, mid-round calling, setting up the map how you want it to be, and then kind of like pulling the puppet strings of the round from the very beginning with the setup of the mid control into the fake towards A, into the rotation off of the lurker, calling the rotations. Just absolutely excellent play from OpTic, and I have to give them a huge amount of credit for how they manipulate the map and play the game.